Hello, hello. It's Bernadette. All right, there's a little bit of a lag. We're going to talk today about the uptick of all the viruses. You've seen school closures. If you're worried about how that's going to affect you, today's a good day to tune in because I want to share with you. But first, I want to make sure that this stream is coming through okay because it's very, very much on the lagging side. So if you're watching live, say hello in the chat, in the comments, so that I know. Broadcasting both on YouTube and on Facebook. But boy, there's a weird lag. So if you're catching the lag, let me know. Weird. I'm going to look on my phone real quick before we jump in today. Also, give everyone a minute to get here. But yeah, there's a weird lag showing up. So strange. Wanted to really share this with you guys because I've had a lot of questions come in about what's going on with all of it. Do we need to be worried and yada, yada, yada. And I don't necessarily think that we need to be worried, but there are things you can do to make yourself feel better and make yourself not to be prone to getting sick. All right, so it is coming through. I don't know what the deal is, why on StreamYard it looks odd, but in fact it does. So here's the deal. There's been in the news in the last couple of days, there's a couple different school districts that have closed down, one here in Texas outside of San Antonio, there's one in Kentucky. And what the news is saying is that the numbers for COVID are on the rise, and it's not just COVID, it's pneumonia, it's streptococcus, and the flu. When I did, wow, the internet is really having an issue here. Hold on a minute. I don't know what is going on. The minute I come onto StreamYard, all of a sudden everything locks down on my internet. And now it's streaming again. So in any case, hopefully this stream comes through. But what they're saying is strep, the flu, pneumonia, COVID. And because it is spreading, like there was, I think in the school here, they said 150 different cases in a small school district. So they closed the whole district down. And a couple people have asked me what I thought about that because there has been a lot of news in Uptake. So I'm going to repeat myself. If you've watched some of my other health videos and me talking about the viruses that the body carries, the pathogens, if you don't know this, I am a biomagnetism practitioner. I'm a health coach as well as being a life coach and a spiritual teacher. There's many things that I do, but I handle everything holistically: body, mind, spirit, emotions. They're all connected, right? SARS-CoV-2, and anything I say, I want you guys to go do the research on your own, all right? I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I'm telling you what I know. So understand this is coming from my own knowledge, what I know works, what I know doesn't work. And it's to arm you, give you a different way to look at things. Because just going through this, getting a shot, getting a vaccine, it is not the answer. So number one, SARS-CoV-2 on its own, as I've said previously in other videos, on its own is not a big deal. It is just not a big deal. When you get symptoms that then blow up into not being able to breathe, being put on a ventilator, having incredible hard time getting well, ending up with pneumonia, that's because you've already got viruses in your body, or that SARS-CoV-2 on, like, it's been combined. And what I said a few months ago when the numbers were rising and I was seeing this virus going around again, it was RSV, it was COVID, RSV was the other ones. Pertussis, I think, was the other one. And it was really hitting people who've had strep before. So that's, understand, you will not have a big reaction. You may be completely asymptomatic or just really mild symptoms unless you've had strep and it's still residing in the body. Unless you have Epstein-Barr. EBV is a big one. And in all of the medical journals that I've studied in the last couple of years and in the scientific journals, if you do the digging, if you do your own research, what you're going to find is there are, in fact, studies, not here in the US per se, but studies that have been done around the world from doctors that said those who are put on respirators, those with really bad symptoms, life-threatening symptoms from the virus, they did test positive for Epstein-Barr. So Epstein-Barr creates so many things. It's responsible for MS. They're finding out several different types of cancers. Anytime Epstein-Barr is present in the body, because it can shut itself off and go into the T cells and make itself invisible, it's hard for the body to fight up against. Epstein-Barr is the virus that's responsible for mononucleosis, but there are 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr. And when Epstein-Barr gets into its later stages, because it's grown so much and because you have, like, its best friend is strep throat. So when Epstein-Barr's in the body, and not strep throat, strep, and strep's in the body, those two combine and they start to replicate. Epstein-Barr then can replicate. Epstein-Barr loves hormones. It affects psychological. It affects people that have anxiety, depression, irrational thoughts, paranoia, right? A lot of people that have those symptoms were never tested for Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr stays in the system. A lot of times strep will stay in the system. So then when it's exposed to something like COVID, and pneumonia will stay in the system too, depending on how strong your immune system is. When it's exposed to COVID, all of that combines, and now you just have a chemical mess. And that's where people are getting very sick. They can't breathe. The reason they can't breathe, if you have Epstein-Barr and COVID comes in, Epstein-Barr is able to grow. It attacks the medulla oblongata, the brain stem that tells your body and your lungs when to take a breath, allows you to fill the breath. People that don't have COVID, that have Epstein-Barr in the system, report things like air hunger, right? You can't get enough oxygen in. And it's because the signal from your brain to your lungs just isn't working properly. So there's a couple things you can do. I don't want to make this super long. Zinc, liquid zinc. Vimergy is a good product. You can get this on Amazon. Liquid zinc, up your dose. Vitamin C, up your dose. And vitamin D. Those are all things you can do to up your immune system before you ever get exposed to these things. If you really want to be prepared, whether or not you have symptoms, book a biomagnetism session with me, whether it's long distance or you come and see me in my office. We kill off anything that's already blocking or lowering the immune system. If you do get exposed to this stuff, it's not going to affect you. And if it does, it'll come and go super fast. Super fast. Be aware of the fact that now it's up to you to protect your immune system. You've got to up your immune system. If you're stressed, if you're overwhelmed, if you've got a whole lot going on, get extra rest, hydrate, drink lots of water. These are all things that you can do to be proactive so that if you get exposed to this new variant that they're saying is pneumonia and strep and the flu and COVID all at one time, if you get exposed to it, you actually can do something about it. But if you get sick, I do have the ability to treat you long distance. I have worked on people long distance in the middle of having COVID, and it shortens the time that it stays in the system and it lessens the effects of the symptoms. So it's not like you can't do that. I prefer to arm the body with the immune system raised prior to being exposed to the stuff. So, but whichever way, you need to do it. Just be aware. Don't be scared. Oh my God, this new variant is combined with other stuff, pneumonia and strep. And strep is Epstein-Barr's best friend. So when strep hits the system, Epstein-Barr goes crazy and starts to replicate itself. Like I said, it has the ability to go stealth in the cells and turn off your body's immune system's ability to recognize it as a pathogen. And that's why it becomes so prevalent. And I've found Epstein-Barr in people with myasthenia gravis, found Epstein-Barr in people with shut down livers and other diagnoses. I found Epstein-Barr in people that have just mental and emotional stuff. It's more common than you realize. So, however you want to handle it, but I'm telling you, first things first, up your immune system. Vitamin C, high dose, zinc, like don't overdose yourself on vitamin C. When I say high dose, do high dose recommended dose. Vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D. And then if you really want to be sure that you're ready to handle it if you're exposed to these things, like if you travel a lot, if you're around a lot of people every day, get a session with me, even if you just do one biomagnetism session, because it will help your immune system. You can go to my website, bernadettegold.com, click on the button on top that says biomagnetism, go read about it. There's a link there. You can either book a consultation with me or go to my scheduler and book a session with me. It's really easy. And like I said, long distance or in my office here in San Antonio, either way. And I'm just putting that out there because I can already see like everybody's starting to worry. Oh my God, school districts are closing down. Are they going to start closing stuff down there, requiring the kids to wear masks and all the stuff? Thieves oil is another really good thing to have on hand. You can buy that on Amazon too. If you go to my biomagnetism page and you go halfway down the page, there's a link that says recommended supplements. All of the things that I recommend, like the zinc, vitamin D, all that stuff's on my website. So you can just go there and it'll take you right to Amazon and order it straight from Amazon. But thieves oil I use, put on my hands instead of disinfectant, and just put it on my hands and then rub it across my face. Thieves oil came from the 4 thieves during the time of the bubonic plague, and they were not getting it. These robbers were robbing the dead bodies of their jewels. Their money. The government's like, tell us what's in that. They're essential oils. Tell us what's in that, and we will not, we won't throw you in prison. And they shared the recipe. And for centuries, it has worked. So y'all go check it out and go get yourself some thieves oil. Now, the 4 Gurus thieves oil, if you're going to put it on your face around here, it becomes very sensitive. You've got to mix it down with a carrier oil. And what I mean by carrier oil is something like a coconut oil or an almond oil, something like that, so that you only put a few drops, mix it with that oil, and it's plenty. The stuff is very affordable, but it's very concentrated. You can also get the one from Young Living. They have 4 Thieves oil with Young Living, I think that's what it's called too. The one on Amazon's called 4 Gurus. The one with Young Living is Thieves oil, or 4 Thieves, I think is what it's called. Do your own research. But if you don't believe me about Epstein-Barr and how it affects people when they get COVID, and that the higher percentage of people that were hospitalized and put on ventilators actually tested positive for Epstein-Barr, go do the research. Go look up medical journals. Type in Google, medical journals, medical studies, COVID and EBV, the link between COVID and EBV, and watch what happens. I don't want you guys to take my word for it. Educate yourselves. If you have had strep in the past, if you had mono in the past, like when you were in college, when you're in high school, it's very likely that it's still in your system. Epstein-Barr, they say, cannot be eradicated from the body. Do I believe that? I don't believe that, because I've seen all kinds of miraculous things with magnets. Magnets are able to get in there where maybe your immune system can't recognize it as a virus because it turned off the ability for your immune system to recognize it. But magnets are still going to create full alkalinity so that the Epstein-Barr can't live in your system. That's how biomagnetism works. So whether it's strep, it's COVID, it's the flu, it's pneumonia. The pneumonia side of this gets a little dicey, right? Because pneumonia is fast spreading and it really does affect the way people breathe. But if you mix that and you've got Epstein-Barr in your system, that's when you end up on a ventilator. I don't want anyone on a ventilator. It is not needed. If they would just treat the Epstein-Barr, we would not be having like such a panic. So that is my message to you. I am working on all kinds of things. I realize I haven't put out a whole lot of content lately, and just understand, like, I'm going through my own process of things right now. I've got a lot that I've been creating, and I will be bringing to you very soon, and talk about the recent journey and growth that I've been doing. Charm Life has taken this whole other up leveling, and the teachings within Charm Life for the last couple of months for the entirety, I think, of this year, we've just turned up the heat on it, turned up the fire. So for those of you that don't know what Charm Life is, that is my year-long immersive program. It's my coaching program. We go deep on getting you past your traumas, getting you past any blocks, any beliefs that are holding you back, and setting you up for success, teaching you how to get into alignment with your higher self, how to express yourself, truly express your authentic self at its highest level, beyond blocks, beyond fear, so that you can have what you want in life in a way that it's just fun and it's joyful and it's easy. Isn't that what we all want? And we want fulfillment too. So if you want to know about that, just message me and we can jump on a call and I can explain the process to you and what's available. But if you do want a session with me for biomagnetism, same thing, either go to my website and check it out, or just DM me and we'll jump on a call and I can do a quick consult with you to see if how you want to do it and what's going on with you. Sometimes prevention's the best way. So like I'm telling you, and when the numbers went up the last time, I had a bunch of people call me and do sessions mid sickness. I would rather you guys get your bodies in prime condition so that you don't have to experience the symptoms or end up in the hospital. That's my hope. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.